The summer sun was beating down mercilessly on the quiet suburban street, turning the asphalt into a shimmering sea of heat. The scent of freshly cut grass mingled with the faint hum of distant lawnmowers, and the occasional chirp of birds punctuated the otherwise still air. On this seemingly ordinary afternoon, a sleek, black luxury sedan rested awkwardly on the side of the road, its hood popped open with wisps of smoke rising lazily into the sky. Inside the driver's seat sat Alexander Price, a self-made millionaire whose success in the tech industry had made him a recognizable figure in the city. He was impeccably dressed, his tailored suit slightly rumpled from his attempts to fix the car himself. His brow was furrowed in frustration, fingers drumming anxiously on the steering wheel. Alexander prided himself on control and efficiency, and right now, his vehicle's sudden breakdown was the last thing he wanted. Across the street, Jasmine Thompson, a black woman with grease-smudged hands and a toolbox slung over her shoulder, was heading home after a long day at the garage. Jasmine was one of the city's few female mechanics, a skilled professional who had carved her own path in a male-dominated field. Her confidence was evident in the way she moved, steady, purposeful, and unshaken by the assumptions people often made about her abilities or background. When Jasmine spotted the stranded millionaire struggling with his car, she didn't hesitate. She crossed the street with calm assurance, offering a simple yet powerful gesture of help. "Need a hand?" she asked, voice warm yet firm. Alexander looked up, startled by her presence. His eyes took in her oil-stained overalls, the streak of dirt on her cheek, and the strength in her stance. He hesitated for a moment before nodding appreciatively. As Jasmine popped open the hood and began inspecting the engine, a quiet hum of admiration rippled through the small gathering of neighbors who had paused to watch. She moved with practiced ease, her fingers deftly identifying the problem, a loose belt and a faulty spark plug. Minutes later, with a few tweaks and adjustments, the engine sputtered back to life. The car's roar was music to Alexander's ears. He sighed in relief and gratitude. "You're incredible," he said, his voice tinged with genuine respect. Jasmine smiled, brushing a stray lock of hair from her face. Then his gaze caught the gleam of a ring on her finger, a simple but elegant band that seemed to tell a story of its own. Curiosity flickered in his eyes, because that ring held a truth Alexander never expected. Alexander's eyes lingered on the delicate gold band shimmering on Jasmine's finger, its understated elegance catching the afternoon sun. For a moment, the bustling street faded into the background as curiosity and admiration mingled in his gaze. "That's a beautiful ring," he remarked, trying to keep his tone casual but unable to hide the genuine interest. Jasmine glanced down at her hand, then back at him with a faint smile. "Thank you," she replied softly. "It means a lot to me." Alexander leaned against the car, wiping his hands on his trousers, feeling a growing sense of respect for this woman who had just fixed his prized vehicle without hesitation or complaint. "May I ask, is it an engagement ring?" Jasmine's smile deepened, but there was a hint of something more behind her eyes, a story waiting to be told. "Yes, it is," she said simply. "I'm married." The air between them shifted. Alexander realized he had been seeing only the surface of Jasmine, the mechanic, the strong, capable woman, but not the full depth of her life and experiences. "So, you're married," he said, a note of surprise in his voice. "That's wonderful." Jasmine nodded, folding her arms thoughtfully. "Yes, it's been a journey." Curiosity got the better of Alexander. "If you don't mind me asking, what kind of journey?" She hesitated for a moment, then spoke with quiet strength. "One that's taught me resilience, faith, and the power of believing in yourself." Alexander listened intently, realizing there was far more to Jasmine than he'd imagined. Her presence commanded respect, not just because of her skills under the hood, but because of the life she'd lived, the challenges she'd overcome, and the love she cherished. As the sun began to dip lower, casting long shadows across the street, the two stood there, connected by a shared moment that went beyond cars and rings, a moment of human understanding and unspoken stories. Alexander's broken car was fixed, but something deeper had shifted, his view of the woman who had helped him and the story behind the ring she wore. As the gentle breeze stirred the leaves overhead, Alexander found himself genuinely intrigued by Jasmine's quiet confidence and the layers of life hinted at by that simple ring. He realized that in his world of polished boardrooms and high-profile deals, he rarely paused to see beyond the surface, to hear the stories of those who quietly shaped their own destinies. "Tell me more," Alexander said, his tone sincere. "About your journey." Jasmine hesitated, then nodded. "Well, it's not the kind of story you hear often. I grew up in a neighborhood where opportunities were scarce, but dreams were fierce. I watched my parents work multiple jobs, sacrificed so I could have a better chance." She paused, eyes distant. "Mechanics wasn't the obvious path for a girl like me. There were whispers, doubts, even discouragement. But I loved engines, the way they worked, how something so complex could be understood and fixed with patience and skill." Alexander listened, captivated. "And the ring?" he asked gently. "That's my anchor," Jasmine said, touching her finger. "My husband and I have been through a lot, more than most people know. He's my partner in every sense, the one who believed in me when I doubted myself." The moment felt intimate, bridging worlds that rarely crossed. Alexander admired her strength, her resilience, and her refusal to be defined by circumstance. "I think," he said slowly, "we both know what it means to be underestimated." Jasmine smiled, a flicker of connection sparking between them. "Yes, we do." As twilight deepened, they stood together by the car, the hum of the city around them softened by newfound respect and understanding. It was a beginning, of a friendship, perhaps more, but certainly of something genuine. Over the next few days, Alexander found himself thinking about Jasmine far more than he expected. Their brief encounter lingered in his mind like a vivid snapshot, a moment when worlds collided and assumptions were challenged. He admired not just her mechanical skill, but her story, the grit, the faith, and the quiet determination that shaped every decision she made. Jasmine wasn't just a helper fixing his car. She was a symbol of resilience, a living testament to overcoming barriers. Curious to know more, Alexander reached out. A simple message, polite and respectful, expressing gratitude and a desire to learn more about the woman behind the ring. Jasmine responded with warmth, appreciating his sincerity but cautious, aware that her life was not a story to be consumed casually. Their conversations unfolded slowly, shared coffee, walks through the city, talks about dreams and struggles, fears and hopes. Alexander learned about Jasmine's community work, mentoring young women to pursue careers in STEM and trades. She spoke openly about the challenges of being a Black woman in a predominantly white, male industry and how the ring on her finger was a reminder of love that anchored her through storms. Alexander, in turn, shared stories of his own journey, successes and failures, the loneliness of leadership, and the realization that wealth and status could not shield him from life's complexities. Together, they navigated the spaces between their worlds, finding common ground in respect, understanding, and shared humanity. What began as a chance meeting over a broken car grew into a meaningful connection, revealing the power of empathy to bridge divides. And all along, that ring sparkled, a quiet symbol of commitment, strength, and the stories that bind us. Days turned into weeks, and the bond between Alexander and Jasmine deepened. Their conversations moved beyond the surface, delving into hopes, fears, and the shared desire to make a positive impact on the world around them. Jasmine introduced Alexander to her community, a vibrant network of mentors, apprentices, and advocates who work tirelessly to uplift underrepresented voices in trades and STEM fields. Alexander was struck by their passion and resilience, and he found himself drawn to the authenticity of their mission. In turn, Alexander invited Jasmine into his world, a realm of high-stakes business meetings, philanthropic ventures, and exclusive gatherings. Jasmine navigated this new environment with grace, her confidence undiminished by the unfamiliarity. One evening, at a charity gala aimed at funding education for disadvantaged youth, Alexander stood beside Jasmine, proud and admiring. She was radiant, her smile genuine, and her presence commanding attention, not because of wealth or status, but because of who she was. During a quiet moment, Alexander took her hand and glanced at the ring again. "That ring," he said softly, "it's more than just jewelry, isn't it?" Jasmine nodded. "It's a promise. To myself, to my family, and to the work I believe in." He squeezed her hand gently. "I'm honored to know you, and to be part of your journey." Their connection was a testament to the power of unexpected meetings to change lives. From a broken-down car on a hot afternoon to a partnership built on respect, love, and shared dreams, they were proof that sometimes life's most meaningful journeys begin with simple acts of kindness. As the seasons changed, so did the depth of Alexander and Jasmine's relationship. Their worlds, once so separate, began to intertwine seamlessly. Jasmine's workshop became a second home to Alexander. He admired the way she commanded respect not through status, but through skill and authenticity. The scent of motor oil, the clinking of tools, and the focused hum of engines became familiar comforts to him. Together, they launched initiatives aimed at empowering young women of color to pursue careers in mechanics and engineering. Jasmine's expertise paired with Alexander's resources created opportunities that had long been out of reach for many. Community centers buzzed with activity, workshops filled with eager learners, mentorship programs connecting experienced professionals with youth hungry for guidance. The ripple effects of their partnership extended far beyond the garage walls. In quieter moments, Alexander and Jasmine would sit beneath the stars, reflecting on the journey that had brought them together. The broken car was a distant memory, replaced by a vehicle of shared purpose and hope. That simple ring on Jasmine's finger continued to shine, a symbol not just of love, but of resilience, dedication, and the unyielding spirit that carried them both forward. Their story was a testament to how unexpected encounters can lead to profound change, not only in two lives, but in entire communities. And as they looked toward the future, hand in hand, they knew they were just beginning. The impact of Alexander and Jasmine's partnership soon attracted attention beyond their city. News outlets picked up on their story, not merely for the unlikely meeting between a millionaire and a mechanic, but for the transformative work they were doing together. Documentaries highlighted Jasmine's journey, a black woman breaking barriers in a traditionally male industry, and Alexander's commitment to using his influence to uplift marginalized communities. Their work was celebrated as a model for meaningful social change grounded in respect and collaboration. Conferences invited them to speak, giving them platforms to share lessons learned, challenges faced, and the power of empathy in bridging divides. They spoke candidly about the importance of dismantling stereotypes, fostering diversity, and empowering the next generation. Jasmine continued to mentor aspiring mechanics, encouraging them to embrace their passions regardless of societal expectations. Alexander expanded his philanthropic ventures, ensuring resources reached those who had been historically overlooked. Their combined efforts sparked similar initiatives in other cities, creating networks of support and empowerment. Despite the growing spotlight, both remained humble and grounded. They understood that true change required patience, persistence, and community. At the heart of their journey was a simple truth, that kindness and respect, when paired with action, could change lives. And together, they were proof of what could happen when people saw beyond differences to find shared humanity. Back in their hometown, Alexander and Jasmine continued to build upon their growing legacy. The initiatives they launched began to take tangible shape, with scholarships awarded to young women pursuing careers in the trades, and workshops becoming regular fixtures in community centers. Jasmine's garage buzzed with activity, not just the sound of engines, but the laughter and excitement of apprentices eager to learn. Her leadership created a safe, empowering space where diversity was celebrated and potential nurtured. Alexander, meanwhile, leveraged his business connections to bring resources, sponsorships, and opportunities to the programs they supported. He also advocated for inclusive hiring practices within his own companies, setting an example for corporate responsibility. Together, they organized annual community events celebrating achievements, sharing stories of success, and fostering connections across different backgrounds. The ring on Jasmine's finger remained a symbol of their shared commitment to each other, to their community, and to the belief that change was possible. They both knew the road ahead would have challenges, but they faced it with unwavering resolve. Their story had begun with a broken car and a chance encounter, but it had become so much more. It was now a story about empowerment, love, and the transformative power of respect. And as they looked toward the future, they understood that their journey was part of a larger movement, one where kindness and courage could rewrite the narrative for generations to come. With the momentum growing, Alexander and Jasmine expanded their efforts to reach even more communities. They partnered with schools to introduce STEM and trade programs tailored for young girls and boys from underrepresented backgrounds. These programs combined hands-on experience with mentorship, inspiring students to pursue careers they might have once thought unreachable. Jasmine frequently visited classrooms, sharing her story not just as a mechanic, but as a woman who had overcome barriers with grit and determination. Her authenticity resonated deeply, encouraging students to believe in themselves. Alexander used his influence to secure funding and partnerships with corporations willing to support diversity initiatives. He also advocated for policy changes encouraging inclusivity in hiring and training across industries. Together, they helped create a network of support where dreams could flourish, and potential was recognized regardless of race, gender, or background. Community members started sharing their own stories of transformation, inspired by the example set by Jasmine and Alexander. Social media buzzed with testimonials, videos, and calls to action. The city, once divided by economic and social disparities, began to knit itself closer together through shared purpose and hope. Their journey was proof that change, while difficult, was possible when people came together with empathy, vision, and courage. And the ring on Jasmine's finger remained a shining reminder of love, commitment, and the strength found in partnership. As the years passed, Jasmine and Alexander's work evolved into a full-fledged foundation dedicated to empowering marginalized communities through education and opportunity. The foundation provided scholarships, internships, and career training programs, helping thousands unlock doors previously closed to them. Jasmine's role shifted from hands-on mechanic to mentor and leader, guiding a new generation of women into trades. She often spoke about the importance of representation, the power of seeing someone who looks like you succeeding against the odds. Alexander continued to use his platform to advocate for social justice and corporate responsibility. He organized annual galas, fundraisers, and public forums, bringing together business leaders, activists, and community members to collaborate on solutions. Their partnership became a beacon of what can be achieved when different worlds come together with mutual respect and shared vision. Despite the accolades and successes, both remained grounded, never forgetting the moment they met, the broken car, the ring, the spark that ignited a movement. They knew their story was not just their own. It was woven into the larger fabric of a society striving for equity and justice. And with every young person they inspired, every life they touched, they moved one step closer to that ideal. The road ahead was long, but their footsteps left an undeniable mark, one of hope, love, and relentless determination. The foundation's influence rippled outward, inspiring similar initiatives in cities across the country. Other philanthropists and community leaders reached out to partner, eager to replicate the success of Jasmine and Alexander's model. Workshops and training sessions spread nationwide, breaking down stereotypes about who could excel in skilled trades and technology. The narrative was shifting from limitation to possibility. Jasmine took particular pride in the mentorship program that paired young women with experienced professionals. She remembered how, as a young mechanic, she had lacked role models. Now, she was the mentor, guiding others with compassion and wisdom. Alexander expanded his business ventures to prioritize diversity and inclusion, transforming corporate culture from the inside. He hosted panels and seminars, challenging other leaders to recognize the value of varied perspectives. The couple's commitment extended beyond their work. They raised a family grounded in the same values of respect, perseverance, and service. Through challenges and triumphs, their story remained a testament to the power of unexpected encounters to change lives. From a broken car and a simple offer of help grew a legacy of hope and empowerment. And that ring on Jasmine's finger? It remained a quiet but constant reminder of love, strength, and the journey they had undertaken together. The media spotlight continued to follow Jasmine and Alexander's journey, not as a fleeting story, but as a powerful narrative of change and hope. Documentaries, podcasts, and articles highlighted their efforts to dismantle barriers and build opportunities for those often overlooked. Their foundation's annual report showed impressive growth, more scholarships awarded, more workshops held, and more lives transformed. But beyond numbers, the true impact lay in the stories of individuals who found confidence, skills, and purpose through their programs. Simone, one of Jasmine's mints, was now a certified mechanic running her own garage. Malik, a young man who struggled academically, found his passion in automotive technology thanks to their support. Their successes became testimonials, inspiring others to believe in their potential. Alexander and Jasmine traveled often, sharing their experiences and encouraging collaboration between communities and industries. They emphasized that lasting change required partnership and empathy, a bridge built on understanding, not division. Despite their busy schedules, they made time for each other and their family, cherishing moments of quiet reflection and joy. The ring on Jasmine's finger had witnessed the full spectrum of their journey, struggles, breakthroughs, and unwavering commitment. Their story was far from over, but the path ahead was brighter, illuminated by the lives they had touched and the barriers they had broken. The Foundation's reach expanded into new areas: mental health support, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship programs, recognizing that empowerment was multifaceted. Jasmine and Alexander believed in addressing the whole person, not just one aspect of their lives. They collaborated with counselors, financial advisors, and business mentors to provide comprehensive support. Community feedback shaped their approach, ensuring programs met real needs and adapted to changing challenges. They hosted annual summits bringing together experts, beneficiaries, and advocates to share knowledge and inspire innovation. The ring on Jasmine's finger remained a symbol of the enduring commitment that fueled their work, the promise to keep pushing forward, no matter the obstacles. Their partnership exemplified how love and purpose intertwined, creating a force for good that transformed lives and communities. Through every triumph and trial, they stood together, resilient and hopeful. And as new generations took up the mantle, their legacy lived on, proof that one act of kindness can spark a movement, and one life's journey can light the way for many. With every program launched and every life touched, the foundation grew stronger, but so did the challenges. Systemic barriers remained entrenched, and progress was often met with resistance. Jasmine and Alexander faced criticism from those uncomfortable with change, but their resolve never wavered. They leaned on each other, their family, and the community that had rallied behind them. They understood that real transformation required patience, perseverance, and unyielding commitment. Public forums became spaces for honest dialogue about race, opportunity, and equity. Their voices encouraged others to speak out and take action. As policies evolved and corporate cultures shifted, they remained vigilant, holding leaders accountable and celebrating milestones, no matter how small. The ring on Jasmine's finger was a quiet reminder of the promises made, to herself, to her loved ones, and to every person striving for a better future. Together, they continued to inspire, teach, and lead by example. Their story was a testament to the power of compassion and courage to break down walls and build bridges. And as the city moved forward, it carried with it the hope that one day, everyone would be seen and valued for who they truly are. Years later, the park where Jasmine had first helped Alexander's broken-down car was no longer just a place to pass through. It had become a symbol of change and hope for the entire community. A small garden was planted near the spot, filled with vibrant flowers and a bench inscribed with the words, "Where kindness sparked a journey of resilience and transformation." On a warm summer evening, a large crowd gathered in the park to celebrate the foundation Jasmine and Alexander had built together. People from all walks of life, mentors, apprentices, local leaders, and families, came to honor the progress made, the lives changed, and the promise of a brighter future. Jasmine stood before them, calm and proud, her ring gleaming under the soft glow of string lights. She spoke about her journey, not only as a mechanic, but as a woman who dared to defy expectations and break barriers. Alexander, standing by her side, shared how a simple act of kindness had led to a partnership that transformed their lives and their city. The stories of young women who had learned to wield tools with confidence, the entrepreneurs who had been given a start, and the community that had come together in solidarity echoed throughout the celebration. Yet Jasmine reminded everyone that the journey was ongoing. The fight for equality, respect, and opportunity required continued effort, vigilance, and compassion. As the night grew deeper, the crowd joined hands in unity, their voices rising in a hopeful chorus that carried through the streets. From a broken car and a chance encounter, a movement had been born, one fueled by love, strength, and the belief that everyone deserves a chance to shine. And in the heart of the city, beneath the stars, Jasmine's ring sparkled, a timeless symbol of commitment, courage, and the power of human connection.